Welcome back, Team DWC. It's your boy TWP. Y'all know what time it is. 6 p.m. Wednesday. Going with another age, non-age restricted video. So y'all know y'all gonna have to ride it out with me. I'm smoking right now in the background, but y'all know how y'all do. And we gonna get this video cracking and keep it popping for you. One of those things I keep forgetting that I'm finna bring back for y'all, because I know y'all love it anyways, will be over here. Let's see, it's in here. So that's right in here, the camcorder. No, that's actually the camcorder. Damn. When you know I actually have my shit set up right. Collages. Where's this damn video clip at? Here we go. This will be where my butter is. Shouts out to the butter. I gotta get that back at the beginning of every video. I know y'all missed that. Because with that butter drop, y'all already know what's popping. Let's get into these videos after we stop by our buy me a coffee trap house, because I ain't in a rush. I'm going to slow down and take my time. Shouts out to the buy me a coffee. Y'all see where it's at? We done made $76 having buy me a coffee. Let's go look at our numbers. We currently have 6 members on level 1, 9 members on level 2, and 1 member on level 3. Shouts out to the Garden Grappler. He's our level 3 member. He's here locally in Kansas City. Y'all know to go check him out. He's either in the video description or on one of the support playlists. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all got to put in the work yourself. But you get to know him. Shouts out to the settings. This is where y'all come. Here, y'all see this page. We on the members tab, right? You go over to settings. You see how it says set this up. You cut that on. Set on the display member count that lets people know that you got members. You want that on for that reason. It lets people already know you got members, so it's not a waste of their time to be a member. Social proof. Use it to what it is. Then here's the best thing about it, right? Because y'all saw we got 16 members, but we're only making like $30 a month. I got 2 level 10. I got 2 level 2 members that are paying, and then I got 3 level 1 members that are paying. So you see what I'm saying? That's my $32 a month that I'm getting. As far as paid subscribers. Then the rest of them you can gift out, so you have people building up your social proof. If you don't know what social proof is, DM me on Instagram, team_DWC TWP, so we can talk about it. I'll inform you on how to get money just from having social proof. That's another class though. But over here on the membership giveaway, all you gotta have is their email address. Shouts out to our 2 newest members. Members. We got members. Who we had on here recently today? It says it right here. Shouts out to Nicolina777. Pendar, she got one too. Catlin got one. Shouts out to her. I think I gave her level 2. Yeah, Kat got a level 2 Buy Me a Coffee membership. Shouts out to Kat. She been putting in that work here on Buy Me a Coffee and in YouTube. So we made sure we showed her some mass appreciation. And don't forget to let's go through here and look at my other members. We got the Garden Grapper. I was just talking about him. He's at level 3. You see what I'm saying? Creator IQ. Shouts out to Jason. He's that man holding it down. Then we got High Desert Exotic. He got a level 2 giveaway. Yep, he got level 2. Then you know the channel sponsored creatives in there, and then our favorite member, Izzy Pop, she's in here too. Shouts out to her. My channel dashboard. I don't want to go too far into this before we get to the video because I'm trying to keep it short. Trying to be in and out. I might have to go, figure out something to do. It's Wednesday. Y'all showing appreciation, but I might have to find something somewhere else too. Shouts out to my new bag I got. It's called Blue Cherry. Why it's blue and cherry, I don't know, but we gonna just let it ride. Let me get it off of here before it shows something I didn't want to see. Trying to keep it non-age restricted. Y'all see the views we got for the last 28 days. We've been getting it in. Team grind. Y'all know these shorts need to be official so you can get more push from the system. And by push, I mean this. See, when I bring it down and y'all see these real numbers, then y'all know what I'm talking about. Look at the short views. 6,000 views, 5,000 views, 5,000 views, 5,000, 5, 2. You see what I'm saying? We got it in this last 28 days. I doubled my view count. Like young Waka Flocka said, got my money up, fucking with them right folks. Definitely, though. I had to stop and do something. We all sit here appreciate that. But on to the video. I know y'all ready to get it in.
Mr. Nice Guy was blowing up, man. We got customers from all over New York.
No, not that.
We even stole a few from Samson.
Oh, what's up, nigga? Come on in, Mike. Come on, Weed, Mike. Thanks, baby. Get on, beat it, old these scaring.
Yeah. So smoke a lot. What can I get you today, Smoke a Lot?
Love weed. Let me get a pound of your sweetest chiba.
Damn. Yes, some told me to bring a lot of weed, man. Oh, shit. Pound of my sweetest Chiba. Don't get no better than that.
Smells you the bag, baby.
That's gonna be $9,600, bro.
See what I got here. Come on, man. Hang out for a minute and smoke with me. I got weed, got my bong out. Come on, son.
For you, man, I'll stay for a minute, but then I gotta be going.
I understand.
Man, Smoke a Lot opened up to me like I was Barbara Walters. It was ridiculous. He told me about his lawyer,
He had sex with my mama. Why?
his spirituality,
God, if you listen, hell.
his bad back,
Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
his love life.
I'm impotent, man. Get away from me, bitch.
I mean, talk about a guy with problems.
Tough break.
I can't take it no more.
No wonder he smoked a pound a week.
Somebody want
So now we had a
Real
famous
nigga boy.
clientele, and
Green Eyes gonna miss you.
guess what
You
else?
call me next week. About weed.
Why would anyone 3D print flower pots? Is what you might be thinking seeing this video. You can buy clay pots relatively cheaply in your local flower shop. However, there are many cool tricks that 3D printing enables when it comes to gardening. From self-watering planters and inserts, to propagating stations, avocado boats, to grow light holders and oddly shaped pots, to interesting plant supports and pots that also work as an art piece, to IoT projects and smart planters. As it usually is with 3D printing, your imagination is the limit. With traditional pots, it's not easy to guess how much water your plants need. Having a planter with holes on the bottom and a tray beneath it makes it a lot easier. If the tray is empty, you know that the plant needs watering soon. And maybe more importantly, it's nearly impossible to overwater the plant, because the water has an escape route. The downsides are that A, you might not like the way it looks, especially indoors, and B, it doesn't really solve the problem of you having to actively water the plant quite often, unless you buy or print a really big tray. That's where self-watering planters come in. It's basically the same concept, but instead of a planter and a tray, it has two shells with a cavity in between them, which works as a water reservoir. The outside shell must be watertight. On the other hand, the inside shell is not, and it pulls the water from the reservoir through small holes or with the help of a wick. The capacity of the reservoir can typically be quite big, so you only need to fill it about once a week, and the plant just continuously pulls the perfect amount of water upwards. Yes, there are plants that do not like self-watering planters, for example cacti, but most of them do, especially herbs, tropical plants or vegetables. You can download this self-watering planter from Prusa printers. Links for all of the models in this video will be in the video description and in the linked blog article. Commercially available self-watering planters can be quite expensive, and the selection is pretty limited, so here you might even save some money by printing one. What's cool is that you can use a traditional pot as the outer shell and print just the self-watering insert. Trying to buy one that would fit your pot perfectly would be very difficult. But with 3D printing, you can just rescale the model in the slicer to the correct size. And that actually leads us to point number 2. Make it the perfect size. One of the biggest advantages of 3D printing pots is that you can make them in any shape and size you want. Instead of going to several shops only to buy a traditional round pot that just sort of fits where you need it to, you can print a rectangular pot that will fit perfectly between your double windows or on your windowsill. Not only can we print the pots in any size, but also in any shape that we want. Sure, we try to avoid using supports, but other than that, the possibilities are nearly endless. You can go for a classy look, or do a fun twist of an object from your favorite movies or a game. Either way, you'll end up with an unusual pot that becomes a great conversation topic every time a fellow green thumb visits your home. When you're printing the pot, you can pick any of the available filament colors. The selection is really huge these days, so matching the color of your pots and the color of your curtains, couch, or a painting is easy. And some filaments, like our Prusa Galaxy Black, have a distinct look that you simply won't find in any gardening store. You can emboss or deboss labels to your plant pots, or simply plant small standalone labels if you have a bigger garden. Depending on where you live and the plants that you own, you might want to consider experimenting with some grow lights. They often have a characteristic purple color, since the most important wavelengths for plants are blue and red. You can get them in various forms, but our favorite is good old LED strip. Generally, you shouldn't leave grow lights on 24/7. Plants need a light-dark cycle to develop properly. But you can buy a cheap plug-in timer switch or a smart switch to have the lights automatically turn off for a few hours during the night. Like all artificial light sources, grow lights also generate heat. So it's best to place them in an aluminum LED profile which will provide passive cooling for them. We designed a simple holder for such LED profile, which attaches to a planter box. We split the sides into multiple segments, which enables us to quickly adjust the height of the light as the plant grows. You'll find the finished model on Prusa printers, but in this case it's probably best to download the original drawing and modify it a little bit for your planter box and for your LED profile. Growing a plant from leftover fruit seeds will give it a fun backstory. However, with some plants, like avocados and mangoes, this can be quite the challenge. If you search for a guide online, you'll most likely end up sticking a bunch of toothpicks in the pit and partially submerging it in water. However, you'll have to continuously keep refilling it, and the pit will be less and less submerged over time. And it can often take weeks before the sprouting happens. 3D printing to the rescue. If you print a boat for the pit, it will be submerged the same way the whole time. As the water evaporates, the boat will simply go lower as well. And once you move the plant into soil, you can simply reuse the boat for your next sprouting project. What's maybe even more fun is to pick a plant that will produce more fruits when homegrown. All you need is one chili pepper that you like, crush it, extract the seeds, and then you can fill small 3D printed cups with soil for the one seed. Those are made from Prusa and veggie neon green. You can either germinate the seeds in a wet paper towel, or you can do it directly in the soil. You could print the seed starter, which is basically a small greenhouse, but in this case it probably makes more sense to just buy cheap off-the-shelf one. You can see more grow lights in action here, and also you can see why we don't print LED holders from PLA. It will deform because of the heat. And then we just let nature do its thing. Plant propagation is a million-year-old life hack. You can cut an existing plant, place it in water for a few days or weeks, and it will start growing roots. You can use just an ordinary glass to propagate your plants. However, just like with avocados, the water will evaporate rather quickly. The plant will also move a bit as it tries to orient itself towards the sun, and sometimes this can lead to a leaf getting submerged and rotting away. Lastly, because glass exposes all of the water to direct sunlight, algae will start growing in it. None of these is really a big problem, but it does leave some space for improvement. You can print yourself a fancy propagating station. It has a big water reservoir and a few slots for net cups. These printed cups can be filled with rock wool or a similar medium, and they'll hold the plant nicely straight up. As a finishing touch, you can add a few grow LEDs to the top. The height of the top arch is adjustable by insertable standoffs. As always, you'll find the model on Prusa printers. If you like playing with Arduino and other electronics, there are a lot of fun projects that include plants. You can start with monitoring the soil humidity and changing the color of a flower pot stand. If you use a board with networking capability, such as the ESP8266, you can log the values online and send fun emails. You could even add a small water pump that will automatically water the plant when needed. There are many uses for 3D printing in combination with plants, and we just glanced over some of them. If you've already used 3D printing for a gardening project, we'd love to see pictures of your prints, so tag us on Twitter. And if you haven't, the growing season is just starting, so why not give it a shot? Happy printing!
It's 3D printing.
And we do that by introducing you to great resources and fabulous guests all along the way. Today we got both. A guest is going to be talking about some fabulous resources that he's using so that you can help grow your health,
business,
and your wealth. Today's special guest has a greener thumb than old MacDonald himself. This plants that this gentleman grows will make anybody say E-I-E-I-O. Now, when it comes to understanding agriculture, George Washington Carver has reincarnated himself in the form of a man from Missouri. When it comes to growing things, he makes the Jolly Green Giant look like a midget. It's time for today's featured guest, consultant and agriculturalist extraordinaire. It's time for TWP popcorn.
Hey, welcome back.
Just saying, close up to the hat.
Hey, there you go.
Thank you for that great introduction, Corey. I'm trying to do what I can do.
All right.
Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian Levitt, aka B-Love. Today we're going to be talking about practical 3D prints, Garden Edition. Over these past couple months, we've all been stuck inside during these crazy times of the pandemic, and one of the things that's really helped me pass the time personally is my ever-growing outdoor urban garden. Naturally, once I started expanding my garden, I wanted to see how 3D printing can be used to help make this an even better and more enjoyable experience. Let's start by talking about strawberries. I've got dozens of strawberry plants behind me, and one of the things I noticed is that as the strawberries begin to ripen, they oftentimes touch the dirt, and when they do that, they tend to rot. These nice simple stands have a cutout to go around the strawberry plant. They also help elevate things, so the strawberries, as they grow around, just hang down and settle on this and don't touch the dirt. Installation is simple. We simply grab the strawberry, pull up some of the leaves, and wrap this around the center portion of the plant. As strawberries begin to grow and ripen and pull down on the plant, the strawberries now rest on these stands instead of falling onto the ground where they can begin to rot. As with pretty much all of my practical 3D prints, I suggest you use PETG instead of PLA for these prints. being exposed to high temperatures outside, moisture and water, those tend to break down PLA or melt it very quickly. Now, once I printed out those strawberry holders, I noticed that those tend to shift around, especially when you water. So my next practical 3D print for the garden is these flexible TPU clips. These are super easy to print. They have these teeth so they lock in place, and they're printed out of flexible TPU. Now, if you're not familiar with TPU, it's really just almost like an elastic or a rubberized material. For the strawberry holders specifically, we wrap these TPU bands around the outside edges, and once those are in place, that makes these harder to come apart, and they don't really shift around or move anymore, and that's exactly what we want. So now we have a nice finished strawberry garden where every single plant is supported. Moving over to the next planter, we've got tomatoes, beets, Brussels sprouts. We've even got artichokes over on that side. Now, let's stop and talk about the tomatoes. One of the things tomatoes usually have is a wire surrounding that keeps everything off the ground. It keeps the tomatoes from falling out, and it provides some structure as the plants grow and become heavier. I don't really want to make a trip to Lowe's or Home Depot right now, so what can we use to replace that with 3D printing? I happen to have two different versions. This that we've printed and this handful of pieces. And we'll show you how this gets assembled, but both of these are stackable and they can grow with your plants. Now this first one is pretty straightforward. You simply slip this around the tomato plant and the legs slide into the ground. Now, as the plant grows, you can see these holes all around the outside. You simply print another one of these and stack them on top. Pretty simple, right? This next one is a little more robust. It comes with multiple legs.
See, that's why I keep telling. Designs by Lucian's mom, aka Mandy. Shouts out to them 3D printers out there. One of the next things I'm gonna be putting on my wish list will be a 3D printer, because y'all already know what type of time I'm on.
So you'll simply place one of the legs, place your second leg, slide the ring in place, place a third leg, and again continue snapping these in place. You'll see that once you have the 3 legs down, that creates a full ring and it's pretty secure. Now if you want to do a second layer, you simply pop these pieces on top and then add a second layer of rings. And just like that, you've got a nice basket around your tomatoes that'll grow as your tomatoes grow. And what good is having vegetables if you can't tell what you've actually planted in each planter? Well, to make that easier, I found these on Thingiverse. The cool thing about these is they can print with multiple materials, so you can have different layer heights change the color to different colors. Now you don't need a multi-material printer, it just changes the color at different layer heights. So with these, you're able to print off a couple of dozen different types of vegetables. You could even individualize them and make sure that the colors actually match the vegetables themselves, sort of like I've done here with these carrots. We'll put our beets over here. Strawberries are obviously over here. Brussels sprouts, these monstrosities of pumpkins, and finally, although they're hard to see, and I probably should plant them somewhere else next year, we've got carrots in the middle of there. Now, of course, the last thing you want in your garden is pests. So I picked up some of this netting that goes over the top to help keep the pests out, but I noticed a problem with it. It just doesn't stay secured well to the edges of these raised containers. As you can see, it's not attached anywhere, it's kind of flimsy, and it just kind of moves around. So my solution to that problem was to 3D print these large PETG clips. These are a little bit flexible, but I scaled them up in size so they snap directly on the edges of these raised containers. And I'll show you now. Now you can pull the netting tight, and you can just simply snap these on the sides. This keeps everything in place. Do the same on the other side, and finally, one on the back. Now my netting is nice and secured. It's not coming off when we water, or when there's high winds, or even worse, hail. Moving to the other side of the house, I've got a couple things I can fix with 3D printing as well. We've got these sharp corners on the edge of our house where the corner is. We've also got this beautiful flower over here, and the garden hose likes to wrap around it, cause all kinds of problems. So I've 3D printed these spinners for the garden hose. I've got these long metal spikes, and I'm able to just stick these in the ground like so. With those secured into the ground, we're able to wrap the garden hose around it and prevent all of those issues we had at the corner. These next few prints are all about watering and fertilizing your garden. The first one we'll start off with is this. This is actually a hose repair tool. And I did an entire video on this subject, which I'll link down below. But the idea here is that if you happen to break your garden hose, as I did, you can cut off the end, and you can use this as a replacement to actually repair your garden hose without having to get a brass adapter from a hardware store. And this one's been working for about a month now, hasn't had any issues. It's 100% infill PETG, and it's withstood all of the things I've thrown at it. But what about watering your garden? Well, I was able to 3D print this. It almost looks like sort of a carrot, but it's a nozzle for your garden hose. And the cool thing about this one is it actually prints in one piece with a Gardena hose adapter already built in. All you have to do is apply the rubber grommet on the end. So this just snaps in to your existing Gardena hose connectors, just like so. And then it works like any other garden hose spray nozzle. Being 100% infill PETG, this thing's pretty heavy actually for what it is. It weighs a lot more than you would think given its size. And it should be durable. It should stand up to the water pressures and everything else it needs to be able to water the garden. Now, what if you have a regular sprayer, but you happen to have lost the little rubber O-ring that goes inside of it? Well, fortunately, 3D printing's got your back there as well. See, this was printed out of TPU, which, if you're not familiar, is a flexible material that's almost like rubber. So you can see it bends and flexes just like a rubber O-ring would, and this one happens to just pop right inside, and it's a perfect replacement in case you lost that rubber O-ring. It's always nice to save a trip to the hardware store. And that leads us to this one. Now, this one's more of a work in progress, but the idea here is that when you're watering your garden, obviously you don't want to have real high pressure because it tends to blow the leaves around and cause damage to your plants. So with this, it has a very large body and it has this large surface area, so it's able to bring out water in a very slow, controlled way. It also has this secondary section right here that you can use to connect an external bottle for fertilizing. Now, I say this one's a work in progress because these threads on this end right here didn't print out quite as nicely as I would have liked, so the seal isn't as good and it tends to leak a little bit. But I think I can fix that. So let's go ahead and hook this up. We'll use my Gardena hose adapter on the back. We'll use one of my 3D printed rubber gaskets. As you can see, there's almost unlimited potential outdoors for your home and garden with 3D printing. Let me know down in the comments below which of these 3D prints was your favorite. Also, let me know if I missed any or if there's something cool that you'd like to see in a future video. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time, go 3D print something.
Hi there. I hope you're having a great day. Today's message is from the Gateway of Light Activation Oracle by Kyle Gray. Today's card is Anunnaki Light Codes. Energetic shift, new information, end of a cycle. The Anunnaki are a race of cosmic light beings who have been coming to Earth since ancient times. The Sumerians and the Babylonians acknowledged them as the deities who governed the space between the worlds. The divine leader of this incredible race is the goddess Ishtar, a powerful figure similar to the Egyptian goddess Isis. The Anunnaki have taken many forms throughout the ages. They have an angelic warrior-like quality and have appeared with wings, sometimes up to 4, and with an elongated head and face similar to that of an eagle. When the Anunnaki appear, it's important to know they are heavenly allies supporting our healing and ascension. In the distant past, they visited the Atlantean civilization and helped those who were aligned with the spiritual path to ascend to the next dimension so that they could leave the wheel of karma. They acted as divine judges, deciding who could ascend and who had to be left behind for the growth of their soul. Those who had abused their powers and had not honored the divine or valued the great gift of life they had been given had to remain for the cataclysmic ending of their civilization. For that reason, some people who have had Atlantean incarnations may fear the Anunnaki, but be assured that they are beings of infinite light working for Source. Connect. Say, Anunnaki, Anunnaki, Anunnaki. I welcome in the presence of the Anunnaki people. Thank you, angelic cosmic beings, for immersing my energy body in your light codes. Your message. Great change is coming to you, but this can only occur if you're willing to shift your perception. You may be experiencing resistance to change, but please know this is simply a fear of the new, not intuition. If you are wondering what is the best course of action, the Anunnaki are encouraging you to go with the new. Old system, old ways of being, and old ways of doing things must be released if you are to evolve. Change can bring a sense of vulnerability, but will allow you to make a deeper connection to your feelings, gifts, and what is important to you. You are standing at a gateway of pure potential that will be ignited as soon as you move through this necessary change. Be open to new information, new processes, and new ideas. You are a part of the new energy upon the earth. I hope you enjoyed today's message. Please give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave me a message down below if the message resonates with you. Feel free to share this out if you feel so called, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.
Welcome to our exclusive membership program. Here you will find exclusive perks like special emojis and badges at all levels. First tier gets you access to the Tingle Room, where you can pop in some earbuds and experience ASMR magic and brain tingles like never before. Tier 2 allows you entrance into the library, where I will tell you fables and stories by the fireplace or in a winter storm. Here you will also find member-only live streams and access to the Tingle Room as well. Third tier takes you up to the observatory, where I meet with you or a group, helping you with graphic overlays, voiceovers, or anything else related to a professional channel. Of course, the observatory affords you all of the above-mentioned benefits. Becoming a member is a great compensation package to me, because it helps with the financial end of this and gives you a little something extra for a fair price. It's going to be great seeing you in my chat all lit up in colors, with emojis and badges next to your name. And one more thing.
You're listening to the Side Hustle Teachers Podcast with your host, Stacey Ogden. Sometimes, even when you have great ideas for your content, it can be tough to come up with fresh ways to present it to your audience. You know you've got great ideas to share, but your format is getting a little stale. Give your audience something new, or pick a few formats that work for you and rotate between them as you create. Here are 17 different blog post, podcast, or video episode formats for you to try. Tutorials. The classic how-to post is a classic for a reason. Walk your audience through how to do something from beginning to end with a step-by-step guide. Myths versus facts. Contrary to what some of my students think, not everything on the internet is true. There's lots of misinformation out there on just about every topic, and you can use your platform to separate fact from fiction. Mistakes and lessons learned. Part of becoming an expert is making mistakes. Share some of your oopsie moments with your audience, talk about what you learned, and give them tips to avoid the same pitfalls. Personal stories. One of the ways your audience gets to know, like, and trust you is by telling your stories. They can be directly related to your business or not, as long as your audience can learn something from it that can help them grow. Holiday-themed content. Whether it's a major holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas, or a lesser-known holiday like National Margarita Day, which is February 22nd, in case you want to celebrate. You can create content related to your niche that is themed for the day or season. Expert interviews. You don't have to be the expert on everything. If there are some topics that would benefit your audience that you feel someone else knows better, bring them in to help. Rant on something topical. The rant, a staple of modern life. Rants can also give your audience a glimpse into your real personality and something you feel passionate about. I wouldn't recommend a rant as a common format unless you're going for a Lewis Black vibe, but every once in a while, it's okay to let loose. Frequently asked questions. If you're noticing your audience asking the same questions over and over, create some content that addresses them. You can do a longer piece that answers a bunch of questions, or take each question on its own. Curated content. Once again, you don't have to be the expert on everything, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If great content already exists, you can curate it into a single post with links to other people's work. Behind the scenes. Take your audience into your world and show them what it looks like as you do what you do. Give them a preview of what you're working on. Take a tour of your workspace or give a glimpse behind the curtain. Review products or tools. If there are products or tools or services that you use to help make your life or business run smoother, show people how you use them and what they do. You can also be an affiliate for those products, so when someone takes your recommendation to try it, you get a commission. Unpopular opinions. If you've got an opinion on something that isn't in line with common ideas, share it with your audience. Instead of shying away from contrary opinions for fear of alienating people, put yourself out there and let people who are of a similar mind feel even more connected to you. Lists. Give your audience lists of reasons to try something, ways to do something, tools to use, places to go, people to follow. You get the idea. You know, like 11 ways to find inspiration for your blog, podcast or video show, 7 ways to monetize your blog, podcast, or video show, etc. Case studies. When your clients or customers start sharing their success stories, you can interview them to tell their stories with your wider audience. People can learn from their journey, and it's a great promo for your business. Win-win. A content series. Sometimes you've got something to share that's too big to fit in a single post or episode. Rather than trying to pare it down or creating a single piece of content that's too long for anyone to get through, break it into a series to be shared over a number of weeks. Monthly updates and stats. If your business is to help other people do what you do, it can be helpful for you to share stats and numbers from your own business. You can share the ups and downs, lesson learns to provide your audience with a preview into their own future. And finally, you can upcycle old content. After you've been creating content for a while, you might find yourself circling back to the same topics again. If you're at that point, you can actually take an older piece of content and update it with more current information, additional stories, or just a fresh take. So there you go, 17 types of posts that you can share on your blog, podcast, or video show whenever you are ready. Real quick, before we wrap up, let me remind you one more time to go join the Side Hustle Teachers community on Facebook. Inside, you'll find thousands of teachers in all stages of building and growing a business who are just waiting to connect with you. And as a community member, you also get the inside scoop and early access to all things Side Hustle Teachers. Just go to sidehustleteachers.com/Facebook or search up Side Hustle Teachers on Facebook. See you in there.
We kept plugging away with the weed deliveries, and we kept meeting different kinds of smokers, like this lady. She's an I'm only creative if I smoke smoker. She believes weed and only weed brings out the artist in her.
Would you like to hear some of my poetry?
Not really.
You really should. I have killed. I have helped kill. I have killed part of myself. I cannot change this. I must seek Buddha. I must seek Christ.
You must seek therapy. That's where I would go with that, but that's my own. The MacGyver smoker is a very handy guy to have around, especially when it comes to reefer.
Hey man, we're out of papers. All right, then get me a toilet paper roll, a corkscrew, and some tinfoil. We don't have a corkscrew. All right, then get me an avocado, an ice pick, and my snorkel. Trust me, bro, I've made bongs with less. Hurry up.
And then you got your straight-up pothead. Now you can spot these people by their lack of motivation, mood swings, forgetfulness, and of course, the dreaded low sperm count. I don't know which one of these categories we fall into, but I'll tell you this. We ain't no goddamn potheads. Shit.